Hi everybody, this is Katie. So this is my project for the course. So what I did was I put together a hybrid course. It's for the general biology course that I teach at Middlesex County College, but of course this can be used for high school lessons as well. So first I'm going to walk you through the website and then I'm going to tell you which unit that I put together. So while Sakai is not that great, eCollege I imagine you have to pay for, and I did not want to put together my own website. I know it's a lot of work. Um, so I basically decided to use Sakai. So here, if we go into site information, what you can do is take a look at a couple of different things that you can add into your site. So on the left side are the things that I decided to add, but if you go into edit tools, you can also add blogs, Dropboxes, emails, forums, and a whole bunch of different other options. You can add a schedule, you can have a sign up for office hours and things like that. You can upload a syllabus. A syllabus would be something that I would hand out in person. And you can also have multiple grade books, and you can even add the option of VoiceThread. Another way to set up this website was to have basically different units set up, but when I looked at it, it really wasn't that convenient, so I just decided to go with the setup that I have. So if we start at the top, this is my homepage, and here I basically have a brief description of what this course is about, that I am the professor for it, and these are our meeting times. The lectures would be online, so technically they're scheduled in person, but of course it's a hybrid course, so it doesn't work like that. They would actually just go online and do their work. And then for workshop or labs, that's the Friday in-person timeline. I gave them my office hours and my email address. And then these are just descriptions of what the course is about and also the prerequisites that they need to have. And then there's a short description that basically talks about the hybrid part of the course, which basically says that I will provide PowerPoints and screencasts and things like that through this website. There's also the discussion tab, which I'll discuss in a second, and that anything else is going to be done in person. And then specific directions per unit will be basically posted under announcements. And as they can see, I already have one of the announcements posted. So we'll start with the announcements. What I would do, and this is the unit on cells and organelles. So the whole goal is to get the students to understand the function of each organelle individually and then the function of them all working together. So for part one, I basically give them the screencasts, which are found in 3 different parts of me talking about the different organelles. And then also, if we look under resources, I also give them the PowerPoint slides, which they can download from right down here. So I basically tell them that they can listen to the screencasts, they can look at the notes, and then they can start their lessons and actually go through the activities that they have to do. So the big thing that we're going to do in person, the hybrid classroom part, is that they're going to actually have an organelle debate. So for this part, I want them to do, the students, I want them to do most of the work outside of the class first, and then come into class and actually know what they're doing. So I basically said that under the discussion tab are directions for their debate. I have organized them into small groups. They will know who those groups are because I would have sent them an email. And then there are more details within those tabs. So before they come in class on Wednesday, that would be, or Friday, whichever day it would be, they would need to put together their debate. So if we go into discussions, this is where you would see the 6 different groups that I have set up. So each group would know where they're going, each individual would know where they're going. They would click on their group, and then they can see that here are the directions, right? So this is their mini project. They're basically asked to put together information about their organelle, and then during the class they will be allowed to quote unquote bash other organelles. So they want to make sure that they know enough about their own organelle and they know enough about other organelles so they can put together a cohesive argument. For this group, the organelle is the nucleus, and if they wanted to post a reply, they would just post a reply and say, okay guys, what are we going to talk about? Right? So this can be the first person basically submitting their question, and then the next person can come in and add a reply, and they can put their argument together. So this way when they arrive to class, they actually know exactly what they're discussing. Additional details I would have told them are found under resources. So if we go down here, we can basically see the details for the actual debate. So they can download this PDF and they can see what they're being asked to do during class discussion. It's being a little bit slow. Let's see if it opens. So during part one, they're basically doing the work outside of the class. They're gathering information about their organelle. Here we go. So this is their mini project. And then during the short break in class, they will have a couple of minutes to work together as a group to put together basically a batching of another organelle. Then during round two, they're going to be basically insulting another organelle. So if it's, let's say it's mitochondria, they can say something like, oh, you stink because you cause diseases in humans, right? So again, they can choose one organelle or a couple of organelles that they're bashing, after which they will have a short break again, but during that break, they're basically looking at what other group said about them, and then they're putting together refutal for that debate, and then during round three, they're actually going to be again explaining why their organelle is the best one. So as you can see, the prep work can be done outside of class, and then the actual debate can be done in person because it's not as exciting to do it in discussions, as you have noticed. Yes, it's you can state your thoughts, but you can't see people's facial expressions. So I feel like for this activity, it's a lot better to do it in person. So once this is submitted, the discussion's done here, the actual debate's done in class. Once that is done, the students will go under assignments and they will complete an assignment that basically summarizes everything that they have done. And it's a letter to their organelle. So what they're doing is, it's basically their group has just become aware of some sad news, that their organelle is really depressed, and they need to put together a one-page basically letter asking the organelle not to commit suicide. So this is one of the assignments for the class, and it will be graded. So afterwards, after everybody uploads their assignment, I will be able to see how many submissions there are. I can click on grade, and assuming there was anything here, I would be able to put a grade in here, which is linked to Gradebook. So if I go into Gradebook, there are a couple of assignments, and this is my organelle letter. So once I have students, I can basically find them, I can add the point value, I can save the changes, and I can release the grades to my students. As another assignment that I'm going to give to my students is found under tests and quizzes. I will give them tests and quizzes. And what I've done was I've published one of the assignments. And I can, oops, nope. You know how this works. I can preview or I can print the assignments so students are actually able to answer this. So they would basically have a couple of true and false questions that I've put together. They have multiple choice questions that I have put together. And they also have multiple answer questions. So these are multiple choice, there's only one right answer. These are multiple that can be correct. And the students would work on this, and then they can click submit. Let me see if I can walk you through this. So I can preview. So the students can walk through this, they begin their assessment, and they can basically answer the questions until they get to the end. So it gives you the question, it gives you the point value. I'm clicking random answers. And once they are done, at the end it's going to give them a score. And again, if we go into Gradebook, the score will automatically be entered into the organelle quiz category. So far I've showed you, I think, pretty much about my website. The big thing is that just like in our class, I would post an announcement every time there's a new unit. So that would explain everything which is due and by when it will be due. Students by this point are pretty used to using Sakai, so they know where the quizzes are, where the tests are, where the assignments are. Assignments, one of the things that I didn't mention actually, when you set up the assignment, I'll go into edit, you can select for the assignment to basically be checked against Turnitin.com. So this actually prevents students from getting away with cheating. I can add different rubrics. I can create a rubric where I can add my own. I can request submission. I can have them do text and attachments or attachment only, which would actually be better because in text, pasted information is not actually compared to Turnitin. I can have the honors pledge and I can have the different due dates for when it's due, or I can have late acceptance. I can have a graded or a non-graded, and I can add this to Gradebook. And then again, I can use Turnitin. I can upload the paper that they will submit into the Turnitin repository, basically. And I guess this is it. So I like online classes. I'm a huge fan of hybrid courses because I think students should and can and should do work outside of the class. So I think something like this that basically gives them um, minimum requirements. So, go here, watch this, do this, and then they come into class and basically piece everything together, because at this point, lecturing at your students is really not that useful. But I think having them do the work outside, having a flipped classroom where they are doing work outside of class, and then coming in and figuring out the details that they didn't understand is the best way of doing things. If you have any questions, here's my email, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.